This video is for Eliza Lear Jordan. I hope you enjoy, and hopefully I'll see you during the summer of 2015. On that note, hello YouTubers and welcome to the Inferno Project. I wasn't initially going to do a Doctor Who video, but the Series 9 trailer is now out. I felt like I had to do one. I apologise, I haven't been around for a while, but now I'm back. So I thought, well, Series 9, what could I talk about? And then I decided, you know what, why not talk about the stuff that we can't see? The stories that are missing. Now, there are 20 Doctor Who stories that have not been released on DVD format due to the fact that there's missing content. For some stories they're missing maybe 2 or 3 episodes out of 4. Some are missing all of them. So I thought I'd talk about my personal 5 that I'd like to see returned into store shelves and in DVD format. So let's get straight to it. Number 5, I decided would be the Patrick Troughton story, The Faceless Ones. This is Polly and Ben's last performances in the show, and I think it probably was a really good story. Sadly, we don't know that. It's a 6-parter, and the story is basically centred around Gatwick Airport, the day Ben and Polly left with the Doctor, which was in the War Machines. And essentially all sorts of mysterious goings on, people are vanishing, and then you have these sort of chameleon-like creatures, which I think sounds pretty cool, like a really inventive story. Sadly, I believe all 6 episodes are missing, so we can't really see that. So, sadly that one's missing. That's one I'd quite like to see. I'd like to see returned. So then moving on to number 4. Number 4, I decided on Fury of the Deep. Fury of the Deep is again a Patrick Troughton story. It sees the last regular appearance of Victoria, Waterfield. It's centered around sort of gas rigs, and something has basically infested these gas rigs, which is some sort of weird creature, and anyone comes into contact with it gets taken under its control. It's another 6-parter, and when it was broadcast, it had a really positive reception. Sadly, again, all 6 episodes are gone. They're not held in the BBC archives. So again, it's another one that's missing completely. We have no record of it. It'd be quite nice to maybe see it, but it's unlikely. It does seem like a very, very good story, however. Then at number 3 we have The Abominable Snowmen. Now the reason a lot of people I think will probably put Fury of the Deep above The Abominable Snowmen, try saying that 6 times faster, but I personally like to see The Abominable Snowmen because of the Web of Fear and also the Snowmen, but that doesn't feature the Yeti. All 3 of these stories, The Abominable Snowmen, the Web of Fear and the Snowmen, all feature the Great Intelligence as a villain. So I'd quite like to see maybe its original performance, its original sort of portrayal. And again, the first portrayal of the Yeti. It does seem like a really good story set in Tibet, where you sort of dark environments, lots of sort of twisting country areas. It looks like a really good story. It features Jamie and Victoria as the companions, again the 2nd Doctor, and I think it would be really nice to see that story, the first ever Great Intelligence. That I think would be a great thing to see. So then, moving on to number 2. This is the only William Hartnell one on this list, I'm afraid, but I think it's probably the best one that could be returned, The Celestial Toymaker. Now this story is the 1st Doctor, Stephen and Dodo, and they arrive in the domain of the Celestial Toymaker, and the Toymaker basically forces the Doctor to play his games alongside his companions. And it seems like a completely out of the ordinary story, not classic sort of Doctor Who, what they used to have with the monster. They have to sort him out. They are in this monster's power. And what's great is we know nothing about the Celestial Toymaker. Who is he? Is he maybe a Time Lord, perhaps? Is he a rogue Time Lord like the Master? Or the Meddling Monk? We have no idea. There's so much mystery around it, and that I think makes the story so clever. And what also I think probably makes sort of it really dark and really evil is the fact that you have all these toys that are supposed to make sort of children feel happy, and they're used in a really devilish content, and I think that's so clever. The Celestial Toymaker, I'm sure, was a brilliant portrayal by the amazing Michael Gough, and it's no wonder that they wanted him to return for the original planned 23rd season in the Nightmare Fair set in Blackpool, which sadly was scrapped due to BBC executives. So I think the Celestial Toymaker should definitely be returned. My number one, which I think is the absolute prime story that should be returned, it's another Patrick Troughton story, Evil of the Daleks. Now, Patrick Troughton only fought the Daleks twice. His sort of more recurring enemy was the Cybermen. He fought them 4 times. In the Moon Base, Tomb of the Cybermen, The Wheel in Space, and The Invasion. And I would love to see Evil of the Daleks. The reason I didn't put Power of the Daleks on this list is it nearly made it onto the list, but I'd rather have seen the Faceless ones personally. Evil of the Daleks, this one centres around, is right after the Faceless ones. The Doctor and Jamie, they're going after, something's happened to the TARDIS, I think it was taken, and they're going after it, and then they discover that this man has his daughter held hostage, his daughter being Victoria, as this is her debut performance, and it turns out he's working for the Daleks. And what I really liked about it is the appearance of the Dalek Emperor. I've seen a little extract, a tiny extract from Evil of the Daleks, excuse me, on one of the special features on the Tomb of the Cybermen DVD, which you can get in Revisitations 3. And it looked so good. It didn't have the sort of remastered, amazing sort of effects, but it still looked amazing. It has the Dalek Emperor. I think that monolithical sort of structure looks so well done, and I think it's a crying shame that this story is missing, because it was Terry Nation's attempt to basically kill off the Daleks. That was what he wanted to do. It was meant to be the Daleks' end. They would appear in the Evil of the Daleks, then bam, gone. That was his intention, so that he could have a Dalek miniseries. Sadly, this never happened, but in all fairness, we then would have had great Dalek stories such as Day of the Daleks, Resurrection of the Daleks, Genesis of the Daleks. All those stories would never have existed, so that's fair enough. But I would have loved to see Evil of the Daleks return to store shelves. But in all fairness, I'd like to see all the missing stories returned, all 20. I want all of them released on DVD. Because I think even if I wouldn't enjoy these stories, someone else would, and that's why I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that the BBC have not released Underwater Menace. If you're watching this, BBC, release it. You have two of the parts. You can animate the other 2. You've done that with the Moon Base. You can do it with Underwater Menace. So, if anyone's maybe got something, a disc reel in their attic or their cupboard that perhaps they don't recognise, see what it is. You may be with a chance of winning a life-size Dalek. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. That is my top 5 stories that I'd like to see returned. What would you like to see returned? Are there any sort of other William Hartnell ones? Since this list was lacking William Hartnell. Are there perhaps stories that you would love to see, and perhaps you would do anything for? Would you like to go into animating with them? Let me know in the comments. And if you like what I'm doing, hit like and subscribe to the channel. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.